Hello guys, welcome back to another FIFA Career Mode episode. Now we are on episode 7, the season is starting to come to a close, and when I left you it was transfer deadline day and I suggested any players I could sign on the final day. We had 2 suggestions come in. One was to sign Xavi Simons from PSG, which as you can see I'm signing now, and then the other one was to sign a player called Ed Williams from Doncaster, so I went into trying to sign him as well. So I did listen, guys. I did try and get these 2 players in. You'll see what happens here. Yeah, this was pretty straightforward, signing this guy, Xavi Simons. Everything was fine. We signed him. He's a young player, but he's got really good potential. We signed him, and that was that. And then the next one, Ed Williams, who for some reason hasn't got a face on this game. We did try and sign this one, but this one actually fell through. So I'm sorry to the guy who suggested signing him, but it actually fell through. But on another note, I did get through quite a few games on this episode, so it means that next episode is actually going to be the final one of this season, because I blitzed through this season really, and it will be the final one unless by some miracle we can sneak into the playoffs, which is probably quite unlikely. As you can see, Ed Williams rejected the money that I offered him, so that was a bit of a shame. But we signed Xavi Simons, we put him into our squad. There's some really funny news come through actually. We had an email that said LA Galaxy were trying to sign Kyle McFadzean. Can you imagine that? LA Galaxy, it fell through in the end, probably because they just watched a few clips of him and saw he makes quite a few mistakes. But no, LA Galaxy's talks with Kyle McFadzean did break down. And in the end, I don't think we lost any players in this transfer window. So we just signed that Xavi Simons from PSG. We put him into the starting 11, and then we moved on to our first game, which is going to come up in just a second. But like I said, guys, got through so many games in this episode. So this is, here we go with the first game anyway. Watford Away. This is a really interesting game. Now, last time we played them, it was 1-1. An even match, probably one of the hardest teams I've played so far. So to go away to Vicarage Road, this was a real test. And like I said, with the outside chance of the playoffs in mind, we had to get a result here. And you'll see what happens in this one. That's right, Callum O'Hare came forwards. Sweaty pass, Jody Jones, 1-0 to Coventry. Massive, massive goal. Like I said, at the moment we're in mid-table and we've got that very slim outside chance of sneaking into that top 6, so we need to pick up a lot of wins in this closing stages of the season. And Jody Jones scoring there from a sweaty pass. As you can see, 15 minutes to go, we came forwards again. There wasn't an awful lot in this game, it was very cagey. Callum O'Hare coming in, and what a goal. That did seal the win, a fantastic goal, and possibly the best result of our season. It was a really hard game, this, honestly. The stats at the end of this, Watford dominated this one, and we scored 2 very well taken goals. As you can see, going into stoppage time, they did try and come forwards here, and that summed up their performance. He put it off target. Watford just couldn't score, and a fantastic result for us, beating Watford, who are in the playoffs. And we moved on to the next game, which was Preston North End at home. Now, after beating Watford, you thought we might get a result against Preston, but guess again, this wasn't a very good performance against Preston. They came forwards here, 28 minutes, and they scored to go 1-0 up. Hugely frustrating, that one, but a good finish, and Preston were ahead. Moving into the second half then, Preston came forwards again here. The ball was out wide. I did try and close it down with the keeper, which proved to be stupid, and he scored an amazing goal there. What a finish that is, to make it Coventry City 0, Preston North End 2, and after beating Watford 2-0, all of our hard work was undone in this one. And going into stoppage time, Preston were the team on top, and we did try to clear the ball away here, and that was it. The full-time whistle finally going there. And Coventry City 0, Preston 2 was the full-time score. Hugely frustrating, and a real dent in our aspirations of reaching the playoffs. The next game was Huddersfield Away. Now, they were bottom of the table going into this one, and it was a massive, massive game really for both of us. Like I said, we're chasing the playoffs, and typically we fell behind I don't know what happened there. Mark Amorosi tried to save it and it dropped into the back of the net, making it Huddersfield 1, Coventry City 0. Hugely frustrating. Moving into the second half, Huddersfield came forwards again here. Nice pass, and they scored, and they were 2-0 up. Things were going so wrong for Coventry City, and that was 2-0. We came forwards here just after the hour mark. Tyler Walker finishing, doing what he does best. Brilliant goal. Huddersfield 2, Coventry City 1. And with 27 minutes to go, was there hope for a comeback? There was, but Huddersfield came forwards with minutes to go and chipped the keeper, and that was that. Huddersfield sealing the win. A massive, massive dent in Coventry's aspirations for chasing that top 6 down. And Huddersfield actually winning, who are bottom of the league, like I said going into this. It's just a poor performance. I don't know, it's so weird. There's no consistency to FIFA. You can beat the best teams and then lose to the worst teams. It's very, very strange FIFA. As you can see, I just booted the ball out because I knew there was no time for anything. And that was full time. Huddersfield 3, Coventry 1. Hugely frustrating, like I said, but we moved on to the next one, which was Blackburn Rovers. Now, if any of you guys can remember, Blackburn gave us our biggest beating of the season. They beat us 5-1 when we played them earlier in the season. And what a finish that is from Jody Jones, as we tried to exact revenge on Blackburn Rovers for that defeat earlier in the season. Jody Jones scoring fantastically well there to make it 1-0. Tyler Walker had loads of space here, and only 13 minutes into the game he scored to make it 2-0. Coventry City in cruise control against Blackburn Rovers, exacting that revenge on them. And the brilliant thing about this game was Blackburn were actually 6th, so they were the team we were chasing. What a turn and what a goal to make it 3-0. This was our biggest win of the season. Like I said, the consistency on this game is just, you can't predict it. We just lost 3-1 to bottom of the league, and then we came forwards again. Matty Godden, fantastic finish. Coventry 4, Blackburn 0, and we were cruising. And after they beat us 5-1, this was us exacting revenge on them. With minutes to go, we did get a bit casual there, and we allowed Blackburn to get a goal. It became 4-1, but with 60 minutes to go, that was only a consolation. But yeah, shouldn't really get casual like that. Anyway, as you can see, going into the last minute, we did try and get a chance there, but Blackburn tackled us and they came forwards with the ball, and that was full time. We beat Blackburn 4-1. Fantastic result as we tried to get that playoff chasing campaign back on. As you can see, I'm clearly happy there as I shake the manager's hand. Moving on to the next game then, Reading Away. This was a tricky game. They were mid-table and they gave us a really good game. They came forwards here on 14 minutes and they all hit the post and the rebound went in. All over the place there to let Reading score. Really frustrating. What a mess of a goal that is. And Reading 1-0 up. As we move towards half-time, Tyler Walker came forwards here and he finished it doing what he does best. Fantastic goal from Tyler Walker, who is now on something stupid like 37 goals. And we had time for one more goal just before half-time. Tyler Walker scoring again. Coventry City going 2-1 up. 2 goals just on the stroke half-time. Massive, massive goals for Coventry City's campaign. Now, going into the final minute of the game, Reading did come forwards here, but we defended quite well and got the job done. And the referee did blow the full-time whistle and we picked up back-to-back wins. A massive, massive result. Reading 1, Coventry City 2, and once again you can see I'm clearly happy. Moving on to the next game then, we had Bournemouth away. Now this was a very close game with only the 1 goal in it, and that goal, well, you'll see it was an outrageous goal. Gustavo Hamer picking up the ball with a bit of space, he thought why not, have a pop, bang, off the underside of the bar, right up there for contenders of goal of the season. Gustavo Hamer absolutely rocketing that in, and this was a huge result. I mean, Bournemouth, I think they're 2nd or 3rd in the table, they're doing really well. Cov fans going mental, and Gustavo Hamer, just have a look at that. Definitely goal of the season contender, because what a rocket, right in that top corner, down off the bar. Coventry City 1-0 up, and going into stoppage time at the end of this game, Bournemouth were trying to come forwards here, but it was too little too late as the referee finally blew the full-time whistle there, and that was it. Bournemouth 0, Coventry City 1. Massive result as we now picked up 3 wins in a row. Things were starting to look really good for us. So yeah, massive result away to Bournemouth. The next game was Qpr Away. As you can see, I was racing through these games. Now, as you can tell from this video, we've improved defensively, but in this one we were having problems at the other end of the pitch. I think we struggled to score in this one. Matty Godden comes forwards here, bang off the post, really frustrating. And this was a game we dominated, but we just couldn't take our chances. As you can see, 90 minutes on the clock as QPR tried to come forwards. The ball just being sort of knocked around the middle. Some passing play from QPR there. A tackle there, a real scramble. There's nothing really going on. And good little header. QPR on the ball. And what were they doing? There we go, that was full time. So 0-0 wasn't a great result. It ruined our winning sequence, but it meant we were still unbeaten in 4 games. So it was a decent result. As you can see, I'm not too disappointed with that one. And we moved on to the next game. As you can see then, after those games, we were in fact 9th in the table. We were 13 points off the playoffs. 13 points, a massive gap with only 8 games to go. So it was starting to look a bit unrealistic. 2 games left on this episode though. Birmingham City at home here. This was quite an interesting game. As you can see, Dabo tried to come forwards. Right on the stroke of the first half time, we managed to get this chance right at the end. Tyler Walker doing what he does best. Top bins, great finesse finish. Coventry 1, Birmingham 0. A massive, massive goal for us. And as you can see, the Coventry players clearly going mental. But like I said, 8 games to go, 13 points off the playoffs. It's probably not going to happen. Birmingham on the ball here, going into the final minute of the game. Just sort of struggled to get a chance there, and we had the full-time whistle go, so we did beat them. That was like our 3rd clean sheet in a row. Fantastic stuff, a real change defensively from us. But like I said, the playoffs probably just out of reach. And then moving on to the final game of the episode, we hosted Luton, who were, I think they were in a bit of a relegation battle going into this one. They came forwards here, and our defensive frailties of old were exposed when they scored there on 20 minutes. James Collins, the Coventry-born lad, making it 1-0 to Luton Town. That was just so frustrating. And then this is so frustrating. What is the keeper doing? He just gifted it to him. And Luton Town were 2-0 up here on 28 minutes. And that was so worrying. As you can see, going into the final stage of that first half, we came forwards, sweaty pass, Tyler Walker scoring past a helpless goalkeeper. That was a lifeline to make it 2-1. But a big second half was ahead of us. We came forwards here, Tyler Walker finding a bit of a space there to fire in, and that was 2-2. But realistically, we had to win this one to have any chance of that playoffs. And with 18 minutes to go, we didn't give ourselves much time to go on and win this. But the new signing, Xavi Simons, came forwards here on 81 minutes and scored the winner to make it Coventry 3, Luton Town 2. And a fantastic result coming from behind. This is more like the games we had at the start of the season where there was just goals galore. And what a finish. It just sort of, well, it was an okay finish actually, but really, really, really important goal. And going into the 93rd minute, Luton Town coming forwards, a block there, a clearance there, and the full-time whistle there. A massive win, and a massive win for us in terms of trying to get into those playoffs. But like I said, I don't know, is it impossible? Let me know in the comments if you think the playoffs are just a bit of a pipe dream, because we've only got 1 episode left with 6 games left, and we're sat about 8th or 9th. I did go on the table at the end of this. As you can see, Luton battered us in that game, but we did get the win. They had 16 shots but only scored 2. So then, as we go on to look at the table, when it's loaded, there we go. So Coventry City's at 8th in the table. After 40 games, we'd picked up 65 points, and we'd now actually cut the gap to 7 points on the playoffs. With six games to go, 7 points. It's made it quite interesting now, but our goal difference could be what costs us in the end if we do close that gap. But it's very interesting, and the next episode will be the final episode of the season with 6 games to go. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace out.